Welcome to The Heat Source, the podcast where we learn everything we can about hot sauce, one bottle at a time. We are your hosts, Mike and Matt, and today we're trying Mean Green Sauce from 13 Stars Hot Sauce. Let's heat up. All right, welcome back for episode 12, where we are post 4th of July trying 13 Stars hot sauce.
That's crazy. Episode 12 with how many quickfires thrown in? 7?
Yeah, like 6 or 7. So we've been doing this for almost 20 episodes.
That's crazy.
Off and on.
That doesn't feel
The quickfire seems a little cheaper, though, because it's like 4 of our...
I think we busted 4 out in one morning at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, the quickfires are fun because it is kind of a fast pace. There's a little bit of like pressure to be fast with it. These ones, it's like, hey, you're going to listen. And if you want to jump off later and come back, listen later, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but we're recording this before 4th, but this is our 4th of July episode, which we both thought was a good opportunity to do 13 Stars Hot Sauce, which is a veteran-owned company. Mm-hmm. It's a hot sauce company this will be a theme for not every week, but quite a few weeks. This is a sauce I tried in Boston at the Boston Hot Sauce Festival. This sauce is their most mild sauce, their Mean Green sauce, which is a mild, kind of a salsa verde style sauce. And I'll talk a little bit about why I didn't push, like I didn't tell you we had to do the sauce. Yeah. I did point out that it was the most award-winning sauce they had. Mm-hmm. And none of their sauces that I had were bad. Even their nuclear was...
That was the one that, like, they all look good, they all look interesting. That was the one where I was like, hey, did you get your hands on that one?
So I did get one, but we got one for a friend of my dad's who told us, get the hottest sauce that you had. And there was a couple that were all very negligible between the 2 or 3, which one was the hottest. Mm-hmm. That one I got for him because I thought it was the most flavorful hot. It was pretty straightforward of like, you try it and within 15 seconds, it's pretty much said, here's your itinerary for the next 10 minutes. Yeah. Buckle up. Like there was no surprises. The flavor was good. The flavor was great. And the heat was strong. Yeah. I was going to buy another bottle after we gave that to him, but they're sold out of their hottest sauce until, I think they said later this summer. So once it's back up and running, I'll get the nuclear one.
It's a long time.
Yeah. I mean.
What peppers does he have in that hot one?
I don't know. That's not this episode.
I'm sorry.
You know what peppers are in this one?
Jalapeno.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
I do know that one.
It's a simple jalapeno distilled vinegar, lime juice, spices, and kosher salt.
Which I have.
No fuss, no muss.
I have a fact for you about jalapenos that I was very surprised to hear. Okay. And now I'm tempted to start a new endeavor to set a world record.
So that's a teaser.
Jumping the gun here.
That's a teaser. Let's get into a little bit of this let's get into a little bit of the meat. We'll open it up, and then we'll talk jalapeno once we open up this bottle. Again, this is 13 Star, veteran-owned hot sauce company. One of the things that I liked about this sauce was when I saw veteran-owned hot sauce, in my head, I'm like, that's a really cool idea. That's a really cool thing that it's a veteran-owned sauce company. Mm-hmm. God, I hope it's good. Yep. Because it's not a gimmick. That sounds cheap. But it's something that posts. I see a lot of those novelty sauces that post very political or patriotic or over the top. Mm-hmm. And they do it as a marketing thing just to get someone buys the label more than the sauce.
It's like a really generic hot sauce.
This green sauce was the first one that I tried of the 4. Mm-hmm. And immediately I was enamored with it. So there's only, I want to say that of the 25 vendors, there's only probably like a handful of sauces that I vividly remember the flavor. Yeah. Or what hit with me on the flavor. This one I remember vividly.
Which is interesting because, not to say it's a boring sauce, but it's a salsa verde.
It's very straightforward. It's a salsa verde. They took a salsa verde and they made it their own.
Yeah. It's like a classic, very simple. It's what a lot of people do, but to be distinct about it, it's got to be something special.
It reminds me of how we talk about how we always seem to find like a mango habanero sauce. Everyone has a mango habanero sauce. But usually the most popular one of theirs is their mango habanero because they all do it in a certain way that just plays differently. So we're going to open this up, and then we'll talk a little bit about the history of the company. We'll talk into some of the facts. I don't have. We are actually recording our second episode of the day. I don't have as many facts as we had last episode for Hell's Kitchen hot sauce.
You had enough for both of us on that one.
I had quite a bit.
I actually held back because I was super interested in hearing about what you had to say, but you were on a roll. I didn't have it in me to break your stride.
I just want to learn more about that stuff. This one is a little tricky.
We got a shorty this week, but it's got potential.
Nice short perforated seal. We're going to open this up. That's a good one.
Short but sweet.
That was a nice one. I have just have the perforated seals just stacked up from today. So this is another one. Again, I've tried this already, so I'm going to let you shake it up and get the first smell of the sauce there. And while you're doing that, we'll talk about, man, the ASMR on that was weird.
Your eyes start twitching.
while we're talking about that, their sauces are all natural, small batch, veteran owned and operated.
Ooh.
Yeah, that smells good.
It does smell good.
So just a little bit about the owner of this company is Sean Maloney, CEO from Warren, Rhode Island. Him and his business partner, Eli's the one that was at the booth when I was there, but they're the business partners for this company. I listened to an interview of his that I found on YouTube. This is a fun fact as I pour this sauce. So this sauce it's got a nice pour to it. It's a little thick, but it's very much a salsa verde consistency.
So which branch of the military did you say?
Oh, I didn't say, and I did. I believe it was Air Force.
Okay.
I don't want to misquote that, but I believe it was Air Force.
When you're talking about which branch of the military someone came from?
As someone that was in the Army National Guard, which is very low level on the spectrum of everything, if I said that and it was someone that was a Marine, I know he wasn't a Marine.
You sure?
God, everything is thrown off now. I'm excited for your take on this sauce. Yeah, the smell is fantastic.
Like I get jalapeno vinegar and lime, which is what I want when I'm having a salsa verde. Right. I'm surprised though. I haven't tried it. I'm surprised though that there's no tomatillo in it, because normally like your green sauces usually always have tomatillo in them.
Yeah, it's very much focusing on the jalapeno. Mm-hmm. It's very much that is the heart of this. It's not trying to like muddy it. All right, let's give this a try.
That's good. It's got a good
nice acidity.
Got a good acidity, like a good tang to it. One
of the things I loved about this is it is. I think I told you this, but I don't know if I mentioned what sauce it was when I talked about the Hot Sauce Fest. Mm-hmm. It is taking a jalapeno and balancing it, where it's like, okay, if you bite into a jalapeno, yes, there is a sharp heat and there's a sharp flavor to it. It just took that jalapeno flavor, balanced it, and said, here you go. Like, yeah, let's just mellow out the parts that need to mellow. Keep a little bit of heat, but very minimal. Mm-hmm.
This is a drinker of a hot sauce.
Oh, yeah. He actually talks about... He actually talks about how it's his favorite sauce because of how much he goes through it, how much he can just like drink through it.
There's so many ideas flowing through my head right now.
I mean, tacos,
wet burritos, enchiladas.
Like any type of taco that you could potentially want to have. This is going to go on it.
I'm going to have to bum a lot of this off you because Courtney's favorite thing is salsa verde.
I'm very proud of myself. Air Force veteran, Sean Maloney. I knew it, but I didn't. For some reason, I didn't have it noted down.
That name sounds super familiar for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something where one thing that I found interesting is he talks about how he was a chili head before birth. His mother, when she was pregnant, would go to Taco Bell and just eat the fire packets. No tacos, awesome. Just eat the fire packets, which does raise the question on what is the policy on fire packets. Because they're just out in the open.
Right.
The sauce company itself, the idea started in July of 2018. On his return from deployment, he was trying to figure out what to do. His business partner, Eli's dad, had a pepper harvest that they decided, let's make some hot sauce from it. They made some hot sauce. They got positive feedback. They actually brought them to a Pats game to sell and like sold out.
I'm glad they did.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking like, man, if you're at a tailgate at a football game and someone just shows up with like this type of sauce.
Dump this on tacos and chili.
It's like, oh yeah, this is going on everything. So I can definitely see how that would be. And this is
French fries.
This is a fantastic starter sauce where I had my niece ask me, like, she wanted to try hot sauce.
Yeah.
And she's like, what should I have? And I was very worried because I don't want to burn her out immediately. And then she's like, I'm never going to try hot sauce again.
How old is she?
She is 11 or 12. Right in that age where it's like she's trying more things. She's being more bold with the flavors. I didn't want to like scare her away.
Yeah.
As my kids are wheeling across the floor upstairs. Still waiting on that nap from them, which probably at this point it's going to be bedtime before it's nap time. But this is a sauce that has a little bit of heat. It doesn't have a whole lot, but it has a lot of that delicious flavor. Where
it makes up for it in flavor.
I would just dump this in a bowl and just be eating chips.
Yeah.
Like this is again salsa verde. Like I've made a salsa verde where it's just a chip dip. It's my salsa.
Big time.
So, but they brought this to a Pats game. They sold out. But one of the things that they talked about when they got back from deployment is the need to give back. So when they launched the 13 Stars hot sauce, it was to offer, obviously, a hot sauce that people liked. Mm-hmm. But not only do they have a great hot sauce, they also wanted to give back to veterans and first responders just to kind of do their, they've done their deployment, they've done their service there, do their service back here stateside. So they officially started in 2019. They officially started the 13 Stars hot sauce. They've aligned themselves with nonprofits to what their phrase is, take the heat and give it back. So what they do is
I like that.
A percentage of each purchase goes towards a nonprofit. Once they have so much, then they cut a check and they send it out. So they pretty much they sell the sauce, cover their cost, and then they have a check that goes out. So every time you buy a sauce, a portion of that is going towards a few different nonprofits that they have. There's a morale, wellness, and recreation, a Marine Corps community service, and other first responder organizations specifically dedicated to physical and mental well-being for U.S. service members. So
that's awesome.
It's one of those things where they took a passion, they took a skill in making really good hot sauce, and they used it to, in their mission statement, they talk about using it to support badass nonprofits, make good-ass hot sauce, and then also honor those currently protecting, defending, and supporting our country is the number one thing. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was an appropriate one for 4th of July, patriotic holiday. It's a great company. Eli at the booth was fantastic. It was very interesting to me where their sauces do get progressively hotter from this, but it wasn't like, I never felt like I was eating a super hot just to be super hot, like a burnout just to destroy you. Everything had a flavor purpose.
Nice.
So it is also something where the founding team is 100% veteran, and then 50% of their existing team are veterans as well. So they also try to hire veterans.
Nice. How big is their team?
I'm not sure how big their team is now. I know that there was the two of them that came up with the idea. I don't know if there was an extra person involved in the original founding team. Mm-hmm. So,
is this a full-time gig for them?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. And also, I'll mention at the end of the episode here, but I want to mention it right now as well. Right now, they have a promotional code. If you use promo code America, there's free shipping on $30 orders, $30 or more orders. Normally, some of those other companies you get like at $50 or $60 free shipping. So this is actually a pretty sizable discount on free shipping. Also, if you are a veteran, active duty, or a military family, you can get 15% off your order if you email help@13starshotsauce.com.
Oh, wow.
So
really giving it away.
So there's some really good deals specifically there's a deal for everybody for shipping, and then there's a great deal for veterans and stuff. And honestly, with the array of sauces they have, it is a good variety pack of, you've got a verde, they've got a red sauce, they've got their mango tango, which I think is one we're going to try in our chicken wing episode later on this month. And then they have their super hot.
Yeah.
Their nuclear.
I wanted to try all of them, but the red one and the nuclear, you said, right? Mm-hmm. Those ones were the ones that I wanted to try the most, but I'm not disappointed with this one at all.
No, this one, I just was really amazed at just the simplicity of it. It's a balanced jalapeno, and it just tastes super clean. It's an all-natural sauce anyway, but it just tastes super clean as well. That was fantastic. Now, getting into some of our facts about this, and the heat on this is a 1. Yep. It's very minimal heat, which is a good introduction. We talk about our heat levels. We do a 0 to 5 scale. 0 is obviously nothing. 1 is just a low heat. 2 is it's starting to build, it's starting to linger. 3 is like you're sweating, your nose is running, it's really kind of affecting you. 4 is a good pain, 5 is a bad pain. So this one I put as just a very simple 1, but the flavor is just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so do you I don't want to step on any of your fun facts. I don't think I have any fun facts that are going to...
So you asked me when we cut, when there was some commotion upstairs.
Yeah. Which
you asked me, like, what is...
Back when there was commotion upstairs.
Yeah.
Not now.
Yeah, no, this is nothing compared to before.
Yeah.
So you'd ask me, like, what is vinegar? You know, just kind of speaking out loud, not directly asking me, but
right.
I actually have this right in front of me. So vinegar is made through the fermentation of ethanol alcohol, is all it is.
Okay.
So you can make vinegar from distilled grain alcohol, wine, champagne, beer, cider, and more. So essentially any alcohol. That's why, like, if you open a bottle of red wine, you just leave it out and you don't store it or take care of it properly, you end up with just really expensive vinegar is all you get, you know.
The finest vinegar that I could leave out.
Well, yeah, it's just the fermentation of that alcohol, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is interesting. It was just something to me where anything that I have in my kitchen nowadays, I always just wonder when I look at it, I'm like, could I have made it? Like ketchup. It's like we have ketchup in our fridge and I'm like, could I have made it? And I look it up and then all the recipes are like, here's how you make ketchup. It's a pain. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Really, the best option if you want to do something different than ketchup is do something just different completely from the condiment. Don't remake it. Yeah. But then it's like you break it down even further where it's like, all right, vinegar. Whenever you buy something from a store, I always wonder, is there a better all-natural way to do it? But I'm not going to mess with that. I love an array of vinegar. I do. The apple cider vinegar works well on stuff. The white wine vinegar. Champagne vinegar is not one I've used a whole bunch, but I know that's one that's been used in some of the hot sauces we've tried. Yeah.
I think I have like 4 or 5 just in like our oils and cooking liquids cabinet.
Yeah.
But no, big vinegar fan, which is funny. So a couple of my facts, and this one isn't a fact. This is just a general observation. Have you noticed that vinegar is like, how do I spruce up my salad? Vinegar. Like vinegar and oil.
Yeah.
How do I clean the scum off from my bathtub? Vinegar. Like,
yeah, it's a cleaning tool.
It's the uses of vinegar, if you actually look it up online, is insane. They used it back in, I think it was like 5,000 years ago in Babylon. It was used as a body preservation method, was to essentially to pickle the body so it didn't rot.
Right.
Like, it is everything from like body preservation to cleaning shower heads to making fantastic hot sauce. Like, it's got to be one of the most versatile, just unique things out there, where it falls under kitchen chemicals, it falls under food, it falls under just everything.
It does, but also I don't feel as kind of hesitant to use it in stuff as like...
No, I love it.
When you look at like Coca-Cola, and you drink Coca-Cola, and then they say, oh, you have an oil stain on your driveway? Just pour Coca-Cola on it, it'll eat it away.
Right.
Oh, you want to like burn the shell off of an egg? Just drop it in a cup of Coca-Cola, just eat away at that. Like, yeah. That one weirds me out.
Have you ever done you go to clean your shower head if you have hard water? You put vinegar in a bag, and you zip tie it, or you
it's like
rubber
the lime
band
deposits.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, you pour it in the bag, and then you secretly take a little shot of vinegar, because who doesn't love vinegar? And then you know. Sipping
from the bag of vinegar by the shower head.
Yep, done that.
Well, if you wait till after, you get a hint of lime.
That's disgusting.
Not recommended. Don't do that.
But it's funny that the applications of vinegar is just so wide.
Yeah. No, that is... Yeah, I never really thought about all the things vinegar does, but I always look up different remedies for things, and then I find, oh, if I had a gallon of vinegar, I would be able to solve 7 of these problems.
Yeah.
Both food and non-food related. It's like, I really wanted to, like...
This is nuts. This is great.
Is that... I don't think that's a vacuum. I think it's a
you know what it sounds stroller. Like? It sounds like your kids are hitting like a dummy sled in football. You're just driving it back and forth across.
If it's Ren with her stroller. That could be. But the vinegar thing is like, I have the vinegar and it's like, oh, I want to use this for pickles, but I also want to use it to like make a mix to clean my like bathroom tile.
Yeah.
And both make me happy.
And it's crazy the scale of it. You can go delicate in a salad. You can go real heavy on pickles. Take the paint off your car with it. You know, like, it's all over the place. It wasn't it. Did you ever hear the thing like if you put to prank someone in high school, you put bologna on their car and it removes the paint?
I've heard a few. I don't know if it was that one, but I've heard a few different ones. I know that.
Was that the vinegar and the bologna?
Maybe
that does it.
I don't know. A popular one back when I was a kid was soaping cars, just getting a bar of soap and just writing on all the windows. Yeah. I never did it. Anyway, moving on.
There's a couple people that I may or may not have. No, I'm not going to say it.
I don't know what the statute of limitations is on all that, so.
Never mind. I don't want their probation officer to hear what I had to say.
Which, soaping someone's car, I mean, like, yeah, it's a pain, but, like, it's soap. Just need to wash it.
It's just annoying, like.
Yeah.
What are you going to, like, you can't report it. You can't be like, they cleaned my car for me.
Yeah. Well.
You know, like, they made it cleaner.
It's, not to go on a completely different tangent, one of the funnier pranks, which as if it was the person that it happened to, I would understand being annoyed. But one of the funniest ones to me is, you ever seen those like TikTok videos or like the prank videos where someone's taking a shower and they just dump instant potatoes over the curtain? And so that hot shower just like potatofies.
That's hilarious.
I've seen that one. I've also seen where a buddy of mine actually did this to his wife as like a prank video.
The flour in the hairdryer?
No, it was just a cup of like pure cold ice water. So like she just got done with her hot shower, and just dumped it over, just like the contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the potato one, I feel like
it's a good way to mess your drain up too.
Oh yeah, that's not going to be great. That or doing just like straight up flour would be a rough one too. But anyway.
I've seen people pack flour into like a hairdryer, and then the girl goes to kick it on and just poof.
Mm-hmm.
That's mean.
Yeah, but this sauce, we've been downing this sauce.
It's about a third gone, I would say.
Yeah, it is a fantastic sauce. It was one that was one of my more memorable sauces that I tried when I was there, just because of how, again, the best way I could describe it, and the way I described it to my dad when I was there, was it is a perfectly balanced jalapeno, where, yeah, the tomatillo isn't there, but it's really not missed. It's just it's got that acidity of the vinegar in there that's coming through really nicely. It is such a good sauce. Yeah, I just want to douse this on nachos or tacos. We had those Dorito nacho, where the food truck the barbecue food truck by our office was there today, and man, Dorito nachos that they make with some pulled pork. Throw that on top.
Yeah.
But it's like the vinegar and the lime is just coming through really well.
Yep.
Got a messy bottle here.
I know. I just went to avoid it and just finger blasted the juices on the side.
So, I know that you have some jalapeno facts to discuss. I have one as well.
Hit me with it.
I don't know if this one, I'm surprised that you haven't. You might already know about this. Do you know that the jalapeno pepper is the first pepper to travel on a NASA shuttle?
I didn't know that.
No?
That's awesome.
All right. William Lenoir, Lenoir.
Okay.
William Lenoir, an American electrical engineer and astronaut, took jalapenos to space on the first operational flight of the Space Shuttle Columbia in 1982. He told the ground control, he came across on the radio or whatever communication, tell Woody the jalapenos are outstanding, which they didn't understand what was going on. Woody is the astronaut Sherwood Spring, who grew jalapenos in his backyard, and he took the hottest peppers and he gave them to Lenoir before he took off. And one of the things was, apparently when you go up to space, like you have certain foods that you bring.
Yeah. And
they want to know, like, how do you prepare them? How do they need to be prepared? And he's like, don't need to prepare them. I eat them whole. He just eats the whole pepper.
Yep.
You know, no fuss, no muss, no nothing. Just, There's no de-seeding it or taking the veins out. So yeah, I just found it interesting that first pepper to go in space, maybe the only pepper. And also that it was something, I don't think it was like 100% approved. I think it was like kind of brought it on board.
Just snuck it in his pocket.
But yeah, he's definitely one that I'm going to have to put that astronaut's photo of the man who brought jalapenos to space. Because I feel like he should be more of a hot sauce icon.
Right.
Than what he probably is, unless I'm missing.
It should be like Galactic Hobo's mascot.
Yeah. Honestly, Galactic Hobo should be jumping on the William Lenoir train. I'll double check his story, make sure there's no seedy background where it's like, yeah, he did that, but then the insider trading really derailed. But
it's funny. Space is like the low-hanging fruit of record setting now. Because like if you think about, you can think of anything, and someone's probably already done it, and it holds like a very impressive Guinness World Record.
Yeah.
Where all he had to do was just throw a jalapeno in his pocket, and like, first one in space. Got a record.
As far as anyone knows, if anyone did it before him and they kept it secret, they're probably kicking themselves now going, I had a freaking Savina pepper just in my pocket the whole time. Didn't tell anyone, thought I'd get in trouble. This guy's...
Right. So now 6
famous.
people have been misled.
Yeah. But no, but that was a fun fact that I was just like, I don't know how I had not seen that before, because we haven't deep dove into like all the jalapeno stuff, but that one just like was first on the Google search when I was looking up stuff. So
That's funny. All right.
you've also been kind of hitting the record books hard with being a little critical. I feel like.
I don't know. This was surprising to me. Tell me I'm full of it. Kind of surprising.
Okay.
So, do you know the record for the most jalapenos eaten in 1 minute?
I don't, because until the car ride over here, I had not really thought about it, but you made it seem low.
It was surprisingly low to me.
In 1 minute.
In 1 minute.
Just 1 minute.
1 minute.
Okay.
Yep. Now, I don't know if there's a size requirement for these. Like, I don't know if they have to be a certain gram per pepper.
Okay, because jalapenos can get pretty sizable.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can go find 1.5 inches at the store, and you can find like a 7-incher.
I know that the jalapenos that they brought up to space, they said those were like a 2-3 inch pepper.
Okay.
He had some good ones.
All right.
How many peppers do you need to? How many peppers? What's the record?
This says, heedless of the digestive difficulties that must necessarily have followed, Alfredo Hernandez consumed 16 fiery jalapeno chilies in 1 minute.
16?
16.
That seems like a lot.
Does it?
You're talking about 16, so you're talking about less than 1 every 4 seconds, right? In 1 minute. In 60 seconds.
Yeah.
16. So you break it down pepper per seconds.
That was surprising to me. There's some gluttons on YouTube.
I don't think it'd be difficult for you to eat a pepper in 4 seconds.
So yeah,
it's 3.75. I saw it there.
Okay.
I didn't do the math. I saw your calculator. But that like
good for him, but I'm surprised that a professional eater has not smashed that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what would be...
Like, I feel like you could put Kobayashi or... Who's the other guy?
Joey Chestnut?
Joey Chestnut.
I don't know if he... I'm sure he's done spicy stuff, but I don't know if he
feel like
does
you
super
just swallow
spicy.
them whole.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Swallowing a jalapeno peppers whole, so you just have ticking time bombs in there?
It might be the way to go, because then you don't get the...
That sounds like just a notch below the idea of swallowing whole hot dogs. That's just a step below.
The greatest YouTube rabbit hole is watching people swallow whole hot dogs.
For you, sure. I felt uncomfortable.
Tell me that wasn't a funny uncomfortable, though.
So I thought it was funny when he initially was... The one you showed me, when he was initially swallowing the hot dogs whole. The first one that went down and back up, not in like a full onslaught, but just one... I was like, okay, there's the line for me.
What blew my mind is at the end, so I think he swallows like 8 whole hot dogs, maybe more.
Yeah.
At the end when he throws up, they're all perfectly aligned in his stomach and they're coming out just like it's like a laser beam in Star Wars.
Nope. Anyway, I don't think it's recommended for the jalapenos to be swallowed whole. I think that's a bad idea. I think you do make a good point where I'm going by 1 pepper per so many seconds, while a competitive eater is going to be like pocketing and chewing and going. Where you're talking about, let's say they could fit moderately. Let's say they can fit 3 peppers in their mouth at once while chewing.
Yeah.
That's moderate. Like, I'm sure there's a lot more they could fit. But 3 peppers while chewing. So now you're talking about like you have to eat those 3 in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Which, doesn't seem that tough. But I don't know, man. Like raw pepper by itself isn't hot. But like if you're doing 16 peppers, it's building. And you have to be fast. And, I mean, this sounds like such a lazy take, but chewing gets tiring.
I guess. I don't know. Good for him. He holds the record. We'll
double check it. We'll see if we can find a YouTube video of someone attempting to break it and see what happens.
It could be one of those things where it's like, I guarantee you can't eat 5 saltines in a minute. You're going to be like, that's the easiest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, or
and
like
then you choke on 3.
The spoonful of cinnamon.
Yeah, that was actually one of my other... One of the facts I was going to talk on earlier.
So last week we had the Cinnamon Ghost Punch. As I said that, I'm like, I can't believe I didn't talk about the Cinnamon Challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I will say about the Guinness Book of Records, I've seen a few people that have tried to break records where the Guinness Book is very critical and very specific, where Katie Nolan, when she had her show on ESPN, it was like a late night talk show style, but on ESPN, like sports themed. I don't know if you saw it. But she also had a podcast, Sports with a question mark, which was fantastic. Now I don't know why I'm going this Katie Nolan tangent, but now she's on Apple TV's MLB program.
Okay.
Shout out to Katie Nolan. She's fantastic. But she did the Guinness record where it was how many donuts you can stack on top of each other blindfolded within, I believe it was a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something where she had the blindfold on, she was doing the stack, they were watching, and then so she had it stacked, and then she was waiting for them to say, like, did I do it? Because there was so many, I forget how many, but it was like 8, like something like that, where it was like 8 donuts stacked, blindfolded. And she's like, did I do it? Did I do it? She's waiting for it, and it was like, she's like, well, it has to be standing at the 60-second mark, or at that end mark, where she's just like, are you kidding me? Like, I did it. It's doing it.
Yeah.
And she broke the record. She has the record, I believe, still.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just one where I'm like, man, they're like to a T. Like, they inspected the donuts to make sure they were the legitimate donuts.
So
and
funny. Legitimate donuts, not weighted.
Or not like, I think they had to be plain because like frosting is an adhesive, or, I could say like, hey, the bottom one is a pecan roll that's like the size of a dinner plate, and now I've got a nice base.
An Eiffel Tower of donuts, yeah.
So it was...
That's a good point, because if you think about it, like if you go to your garden,
mm-hmm.
you're probably just going to get a standard 2-inch jalapeno.
Yeah.
What if they require you to have like a big, sizable 5-inch one? So,
yeah.
All right.
5 inches.
I'll have to look into that one.
5 inches respectable. Anyway, so the jalapeno, I want to go into a little bit about the 13 stars on the logo here. It's a very simple logo brand. It's got 13 stars name, the 13 stars around it. It very much brought me into the Betsy Ross 13 stars on the flag. Did you know? So apparently there was a whole deep dive that I'm not going to go into. The argument of what flags were the U.S. flags, the iterations, the different styles. There was a few different people that claimed that they had the original American flag. There's the 13 star, the circle that we all know, but then there's also the 13 stars that are like a 3-2-3-2-3-2 pattern that I'm not as familiar with, but it was one of the two major. That one and the Betsy Ross flag were the two major flags.
Yeah.
But a little bit of backstory on the circle 13 stars. The 13 stars were meant to represent the 13 colonies. That's not surprising. The blue and white colors were supposed to be represented as, with the blue in the background, as the 13 colonies being like a new constellation in the sky, basically a new establishment of a new country. But also the circle was meant to represent how the colonies are all equal. No one's head of the table, similar to like King Arthur's round table.
Yeah.
There's no head of the table. It's all equal. But the legend of it is like the Betsy Ross flag, as far as being the original flag or one of the original flags, is almost 100% like speculation. Like
really?
not speculation, but like there's not a whole lot of hard evidence or like written down documentation to say any of it. Now there's a lot of like circumstance that supports that Betsy Ross's flag is supported as the original. Her uncle George Ross, who was a major financier of the Revolutionary War, was very close with George Washington. George Washington went to Betsy Ross regularly for tailor work and social visits, and so there was a connection there. They always sat next to each other or close to each other at church. It was just a very close-knit community where it makes sense that he would go to her for the design of the flag. And they even said in the story how they asked her if she could, and she's like, well, I've never done a flag before, but I can. She asked that it be the 5-point stars instead of the 6 because they're easier to create. It was just interesting where it wasn't this is the history of the flag and this is the original story. I'm always interested when there's more of a shrouded in arguments or conflicting reports where they're like, what's the original?
Yeah.
But if you look up like the different versions of the flag, there is a multitude where some of them I'm like, someone created that on paintbrush. Like there's no way that was one of them.
Yeah.
And it's one of the argued flags.
One of my last fact is going off from that. I'm sure you ran into this. Do you know how many times the flag has been updated over the years? Like the United States flag?
I don't know, but I am going to guess 7 because 7's my favorite number to guess.
27.
So I was halfway there.
According to this, it's been officially updated 27 times.
Do you know when the last time it was updated?
Probably when Hawaii was added.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, that would make sense, the 50 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when the stars represent the states and you have, the addition.
Like, when do we sneak Puerto Rico on there?
Well, the thing is, when you sneak it on there, no one mentions it. It just is there. And then Puerto Rico just is like, what's that one? Like, that's you.
No, you have to pay taxes.
Yeah. They each get a commemorative flag as they pay taxes with their tax bill. Taxes come due, but they also get a free flag. It's free in a way, not fully. But no, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess it makes sense to change it a lot if there's the molding of the country from the 13 colonies now to the 50 states that we have. That does make sense, but that is a lot. I wonder what other countries' flag history as far as how many changes.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I feel like that's a lot, and I feel like I only knew of the two, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the Betsy Ross Classic.
I don't think, depending on the timeline between different states and adding them in different iterations, if there was, I feel like there's going to be a flag where it's someone's put their heart and soul into a flag, and they're like, this is great. 6 days later, they're like, hey, we have Nebraska, and then they just change the flag.
Son of a gun.
It's all that work.
They just had one big star for the Louisiana Territory.
Yeah. Yeah. The Louisiana Purchase was a big deal. No, some of those flags, though, a lot of the ones from other countries are much more simplified, where I wonder if either it's always been simple, and that's how they've maintained it, the same flag is just, very simple, or they've been around for so long, because, the U.S. is one of the newer of some of these other flags, but where the flag was they were changing it every so often, finally they're like, you know what, just make this the flag and we're not doing it again. Mm-hmm. Make it simple. Make it just, make it just a white flag with a red dot. We're done. Let's just get done with it. Let's just make it a blue-white alternating for 3 stripes. No more. Because some of them, there's some intricate ones, but there's a lot that are what is this flag? It looks like 2 colors.
Right.
Just because it is the week after 4th of July, when this comes out, it'll be 2 days after 4th of July. I had a little bit of 4th of July information, specifically the big event that happens on the 4th of July. We alluded to him already.
Fireworks.
I said him, but yeah, fireworks are a thing.
Oh,
we'll pretend like the kids upstairs are the fireworks of the podcast going off, the booms and the Joey Chestnut. There's always the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
I didn't know you were going to bring that up.
No, that's really funny that it just happened to work that way. But do you know how many hot dogs? So he gets 10 minutes, not one. In 10 minutes, how many hot dogs he ate last year for his new record that he broke? That was his record originally anyway. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. And it's hot dog and bun, but they do the water dunk, so that's minimal factoring.
I mean, so if you think about it, I'm going to answer your question.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, think about how much, because they're dunking every single bun.
Yeah.
That's a lot of water. If you were to take all that and squeeze it out, how much more room could you actually fit in there?
But is it better than having the fully dried bun that has to then, I don't know.
Do you get what I mean, though?
I know. Yeah.
That water's probably taking up 25% of your space in your stomach.
Well, next time that you eat a hot dog, dunk it into the water, pull it out and see how much water goes down. See how much it actually absorbs. But also, they dunk it, they squeeze it, and eat it.
Yeah.
So they might have, it might be a...
No, that's a good call.
It might be that they're squeezing some of it out, because also, their shirt is just
to shrink it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty... I love watching it, and then when I get to the end, I'm like, oh, that's kind of gross.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated with... I once looked into the habit of the Man vs. Food guy. I forget. I always forget his... Yeah. Yeah, Adam Richman.
Yeah.
I think we had brought him up on another episode, too.
I don't think so.
We haven't? Well, there was a time I forgot his name before. But Adam Richman from Man vs. Food, I was looking into what he does after an episode. Because he always does these food challenges. And then what does he do after? Because he's a bigger guy, but he's not,
Yeah.
He's not
He wears it well.
Yeah, he's wearing it well. And it's not from season 1 to season however long he was on it. You're going, wow, look at the massive increase of weight. So it's what does he do? And he apparently has an elliptical or some type of workout device in his hotel. He makes sure to prep his body before, and he obviously is not going to be going out to eat a whole lot after. He's got a very specific diet, but it is interesting to me the training for eating like that. And then a Joey Chestnut, who isn't a big guy, he's even smaller of a guy than Adam. Kobayashi is a tiny little guy.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me, but I'll let you know in 10 minutes.
Hold on. Yeah, I didn't get to
I know.
guess. All right. 73.
Ooh, that is close.
Is it?
76.
75
was his record in 2020. 76 was the record he broke last year. At this time, we'll know what it is. We'll see what he does this year with the record. I'm betting on 77, just based on the fact that he just...
Right.
And honestly, at that point, usually he seems to be a clear, far and away winner.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's got a little bit of a lead. Sometimes I think the Kobayashi ones have been competitive.
Yeah.
But he usually has a pretty decent lead.
Yeah.
If I'm him, it's like I'm just going for 77. Like I'm not
right.
Like I'm gonna be here next year.
You don't want to cut yourself off from your own record.
Yeah. It's like I get to break a record every year.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if at home, like in training, one time he's like, in training at 110 one time, but like I'm not gonna do that yet.
Yeah.
I've got 40 years.
I don't want to do that officially.
To like break the record. Something that had me going down a little bit of a rabbit hole is it's a Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Nathan's is a very famous hot dog company. Mm-hmm. I looked into just a little bit about the hot dog eating contest itself. So according to Legend and the company, because the company, why wouldn't they promote a legend? The first ever hot dog eating contest took place on July 4th in 1916 between four men arguing over who was the most patriotic. Which sounds like a thing someone...
And that is America.
Yeah.
I love it.
They set to scarfing down Nathan's hot dogs, with the winner, James Mullen, eating 13 hot dogs in 12 minutes, which seems very pathetic in comparison.
Big time.
I mean, 13 hot dogs is still...
1916.
Okay. Now, the true story, or the one that's more known, that there was no evidence of any competition, official competition, before 1972. And then... Mortimer Matz, a public relations professional who worked with Nathan's Famous, told the New York Times in 2010 that the legend was intended to improve sales. In Coney Island Pitchman style, we made it up. So it was something where they finally came clean on it. Mm-hmm. But it just sounds...
So that's not real?
Nope.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I know. I had your hopes up for a minute. I should have left it out.
I'm going to do that from now on. Hey, guess what? Here's a fact. Just kidding. It's not real.
Here's a fact. Here's another fact. That person lied. But it's one of those things where it's enough of a little bit ridiculous and a little bit believable where it's like, hey, would you believe that 4 people had a hot dog eating contest to prove how patriotic they were?
I mean, I probably did it last year.
Yeah. It's like, do I think that there's been contests of different measures of how patriotic someone is? Would hot dogs fall into that category? Sure.
Right.
Why not?
Exactly.
So that was a little bit of my Nathan's hot dog facts there.
That's hilarious.
I got a couple other facts, but let's get into the score on this because I feel like we've been downing. The sauce is at least a third, if not close to halfway gone. It is a drinkable sauce. It's a reason why the CEO Sean talks about how it's his favorite because there's no difficulty in finishing this whole bottle today if we wanted to.
No, if you gave me tortilla chips,
the tasting spoons save us. Those keep us a little.
If that was a regular spoon, it'd be gone. I think that's why in the beginning, trying those sauces, we were just ripping through bottles.
Yeah,
because if I had a full spoon, I'd be topping it off and then some and making a mess like I normally do.
Yeah, for sure. But
God, you're so clean. I'm jealous of your side of the table.
I do a delicate pour. It'd be funny if all my papers were just hiding it.
It looked like you taped silverware to my hands and just told me to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's how my side of the table always
It's real nice with the episode we did last, which was a dark reddish brown, and then now this is a green. It's very beautiful mosaic. One of those melty, almost like a Jackson Pollock one again. We're bringing back the artwork. So for me, with this, we do a 100-point scale, just as a quick recap. If it's above 25 or above 75, we want this in our kitchen. It's a staple that we'd want in our kitchen year round. We recommend to buy. Above 50, we still recommend to buy. Anything above 50 is recommended to buy. 25 to 50 it's a good sauce, but we probably aren't going to tell you to go and seek it out. Similar to like the grocery store sauces, the Louisiana Hot, the Frank's Hot. And then below 25, it wasn't for us, but maybe it's for you. Everyone has their own preferences and tolerances. So there's never going to be a sauce, unless it's something that's dangerous to eat, that we're going to say, don't try it.
Yeah.
But this one, this is a very versatile sauce as far as like we talk about all the different things we can put it on. It's a salsa verde. It's got anything that you could put jalapenos on. Like I just had the loaded mac and cheese that had fresh jalapenos on. Put this on then you get both the fresh and the balanced jalapeno. Mm-hmm. I had this as an 84.
82.
Oh,
That's funny. I feel
I'm in the lead this week.
I'd like to know what our biggest difference has been. Because I feel like we're on the same page every time.
Yeah.
But going into this, we had vastly different kind of opinions and experiences with heat and hot sauce.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and it's something where we each have our own food preferences where this one it kind of helps that it's a universal that you can put it on so much. When you start thinking about things that are more pointed on what you can put it on, then it's going to probably dictate a little bit of like, hey, this is good, but like, what am I going to really use it for? Mm-hmm. If it's like, this is really good on a dish that I just don't like. So like that could affect some of it, but it's a good looking like green sauce. It has really good aroma to it. The flavor is amazing. It delivers on, it says it's a salsa verde sauce. It is through and through. It's almost surprising that it delivers on such a salsa verde sauce without that tomatillo. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of surprising thing.
I was surprised to see that not in there.
Yeah.
That's like a salsa verde staple. So
yeah. Good
for you guys. You figured that one out.
No,
I don't care for boiling tomatillos when I make it and roasting them and doing all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit of work. Yeah, peeling them. The first time I ever used tomatillos to make I made a salsa verde for shrimp tacos that I made for Angela, which at the time I didn't realize she didn't like shrimp. She said they were great, so good for her. And then
does she not like the texture and the crunch?
I don't know what it is. She doesn't. It's just she's not a big fan of shrimp. She has a couple seafood that she doesn't eat, and she doesn't like mushrooms. Mm-hmm. And I love all food, but I use shrimp and mushrooms not just necessarily together, but I use them a lot. A lot of mushroom shrimp. But yeah, so this is a sauce that like definitely recommend that you buy it. I had a couple facts that I want to talk about that I went into just a little bit about some veteran statistics that I wanted to mention just because I feel like it's appropriate with the 13 Stars hot sauce. Just because, they're doing things for nonprofits. They're doing things for the community, giving back to help the veterans that have come back. And everyone kind of always knows like, we have to help the veterans. It's a general statement that no one's going to disagree with. I don't think, I never would be surprised with people nowadays of like someone wanting to argue a stance.
Yeah, who knows?
But it's something where sometimes you don't realize some of the statistics of how serious things are. So I looked up and found some statistics from just like a year or two ago. One of them was 11% of the homeless community are veterans. 70% of the homeless veterans deal with substance abuse. 50% live with mental health illnesses like PTSD. So you're dealing with a large portion of the homeless community, veterans, and then a lot of the things they're dealing with that are restricting them from getting out of that. But also, just as a interesting thing about how much of the population just makes up veterans. So 7% of the adult population are veterans, which 7% sounds low when you just think of the percentage, but that's 17.4 million. So
that's crazy.
That's a lot.
That's a whole lot.
Do you know, this is a little fun trivia thing, which state has the highest proportion of veterans to its population at 11%?
Texas.
That's a good guess, but it is wrong. You have to go in the opposite direction.
Don't tell me.
Okay.
Like North Dakota? Montana?
Further
north?
Yeah.
What's farther north than Montana?
Northwest.
Just tell me.
Alaska.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
forgot about Alaska. Sorry, guys.
I figured. I'm like, okay.
I was thinking lower 48.
Well, I'm thinking, I'm like, am I the idiot? Is Alaska like one of those where like you go, actually, if you line it up, it's actually not.
If you look at a flat map, it sits here. If you look on a globe, it's there. No, that's my bad.
I forgot you're a flat earther. I'm sorry. But quick side note.
Why don't you think we're floating away right now?
I love the meme that I've seen where it's a group that's a flat earthers and like we have flat earther believers all around the world. They're like, say it again. Say it again slowly. But no, Alaska, it has the highest proportion of veterans. And it's not surprising to me because I have been to Alaska with my family on vacation. And my dad, social butterfly, loves to hear people's stories, loves to talk to people, get to know them. Mm-hmm. And even when we travel, I don't know if he did it for Alaska, but I know when we went to the state of Washington, he randomly would call people, locals to the area, and say, we're going on vacation there. And we just want to know what's something that you would recommend when family visits that they have to see.
He was just dialing random numbers?
He was like literally like telling.
That's awesome.
Doing like cold calls.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So when we went to Alaska, he had a hard time finding someone from Alaska that was born in Alaska. I had a divorce and I got away from it all. I, wanted to, set my own path, or I wanted to just get away from the bustle of,
I feel like you were born and raised somewhere else and Alaska's a destination, or you're born there and you're like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah. And one of the major things was I was deployed here, I was stationed here, and I just fell in love with the area. Mm-hmm. A lot of that. I know I have a family that some of them have been stationed in Alaska and they loved it. Now they don't live there now, but it makes sense that there would be a high proportion because it feels like you're in another country. Like when I went to Alaska, I was younger. I was like a late teenager, early 20s, but I was in my head, I'm just like, do we have to exchange coins? Like what's happening?
What do you guys run on up here? Caribou skins?
Beautiful country. Yeah. Beautiful country.
State or country?
Well, the country.
I'm
talking about
you're
the
using
landscape.
Country as a verb.
Like the landscape. Yeah. I'm talking about the United States. Beautiful country. Yeah. Man, we are really messing up our geography today. But yeah, it has the highest proportion. And I just thought that was interesting. But it wasn't surprising just from that conversation that my dad has had with multiple people there.
Yeah.
So
that is, I guess it's surprising. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it.
There was a bunch of statistics that I was pulling up. I didn't want to go super heavy into the stats on this because there are a lot of serious statistics, a lot of, there's a lot of different initiatives, even like some simple ones of like doing like push-up challenges and different like social media challenges, similar to like an ice bucket challenge that happened back in the day, where they do want to bring awareness to like veteran suicide and, just the different things that you can do to help is readily available. But their website has, is a start where if you don't know what you can do, it's like, hey, I want to help. I don't know where to contribute or whatever. You literally can buy a bottle of hot sauce.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
You can buy a pack, and then
if you start talking about like the very serious issues behind it, it's really daunting.
Yeah,
it's intimidating. Like you don't know where to start. But the easiest thing in the world is, if you already like hot sauce or any other product that's veteran owned and made. I feel like most veteran owned and produced companies already donate for you to something that's already in their wheelhouse. They're going to know where that best dollar or where that dollar is best spent, So they can just, take care of it for you. It makes it easy on you. You get a great hot sauce and your money gets put towards something great. So,
yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, definitely, they have their packs of sauces. Right now, like I said, their hottest sauce is sold out. So they have their 3-packs though that you can get, or they do have deals where I saw when I was looking at this one online, you can buy the sauce, but if you buy 2, you get $2 off the pair. If you buy 3, you get $3 off the trio. So you do get a discount the more you buy. So if you wanted to gift it, if you wanted to, it's something where you could gift this as a, birthdays, Christmas stocking, whatever it might be. And you're also doing some good with it. So yeah, we did back-to-back episodes today, and
we're running over 2 hours.
Had some really good sauce, though. Oh, one thing, because when this comes out, we'll have already had our 4th of July weekend. One thing that I was curious on, do you have any specific foods that are going to be your go-to this weekend?
Watermelon, hot dogs.
Those are 2 classics.
Probably fish. We fish a lot on 4th of July, and my family's catch and keep. I've never seen my dad let a fish go, I don't think. And he catches a lot of fish.
Yeah.
But it's like they get eaten that night.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Probably hot dogs, fish, and watermelon.
I think we're probably doing the burgers and the hot dogs, the classic. Might try to find a couple unique brats to throw on there. The watermelon, the kids go crazy about the watermelon. So, have you ever done grilled watermelon?
Nope.
I've seen it done.
So have I.
It looks very interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard it's great.
Do you remember a few years ago the watermelon mustard craze?
Watermelon mustard?
No. It was a thing. It was like people were putting just like yellow Frenches on watermelon.
That sounds like a terrible craze.
Apparently, so I did it.
Yeah.
And to me, it tasted like you put mustard on watermelon. As far out there as that is. It was like, that's just watermelon and mustard.
So there's some food pairings that go really, really well together. There's some that just butt heads that clash that make a disgusting mix. There's some things that just exist in the same.
To exist.
And that's what it sounds like this one is. It's like, that is watermelon and mustard. I don't love it. It's not making me ill.
Yeah, it was like super trendy. I don't know what the thing was about it, but I do remember it was all over the place. I had to try it. And it was like, yeah, it's there.
What about mean green on watermelon?
I'd put that stuff on anything.
Yeah, I mean, that'd probably be good. Like that plus the sweetness. I mean, I probably will put it on my hot dog and my burger too.
It's going on that.
Yeah. The other thing that's a classic, we have a couple of classic dishes that my family makes. We make a German potato salad. My mom makes one. It's fantastic. People always think, oh, I don't like potato salad. This is a warm bacon, red onion, delicious German potato salad. It's fantastic. The other thing that they make that's a staple, and I apologize, is a delicious baked bean. Sorry.
God bless you.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yep. So, but other than that, like the rest of it is kind of up in the air. We're hosting this year, so the kids are excited. You can tell.
Jumping up and down with joy right now.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm excited to, this will have already happened, but I'm excited to see what we're cooking this year. What I'll be hosting, I guess. I'm in charge of the grill usually, so it's up to me to bring it home. But if you do have any needs to get some hot sauce, again, the 13starshotsauce.com is their website. Their Instagram is of the same name, 13 Stars Hot Sauce. It is the number 1313. They also have the email that we mentioned to email directly for help@13starshotsauce.com, which if you're a veteran, active duty, or military family can get a 15% discount. A couple special thank yous on this week, just because of the holiday, because of who we have, and because my kids are very avid that they're bursting through the ceiling. They want to say thank you to all the servicemen and women that are out there defending our country here and abroad. I have a few friends that are deployed right now, so hope everyone stays safe, and thank you for your service. Thank you to the military families that have supported those soldiers and been there for them and support them both while they're away and when they come home. And just thank you to the 13 Stars Hot Sauce for just a really good cause, a good message. And we've talked about a lot of hot sauce companies that have made hot sauce. They've made something they love. They've, created something unique that's fan favorite, but they've taken this and they've added an extra element to it that has really, like they said, given back. So,
yeah. And holidays are a good opportunity, but don't wait for a holiday to think of that,
Yeah.
That's we've got days designated for it, but at the same time, they're living it every day, whether they're active or not,
It's kind of the old adage for like Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, like treat every day like it's one of those holidays.
Yeah.
Treat every day like it's Veterans Day and thank a veteran. But if you've stuck around to the end of the episode, we thank you. We thank you for sticking with us through some crazy kids upstairs and some different noises, and the vacuum is kind of the wrap it up sign. So if you have any recommendations or want us to try anything else, please reach out to us at the Heat Source Podcast on Instagram. There you can find any updates. You can message us. We have our email listed on there. But yeah, just let us know if there's any sauces you want us to try, or if there's anything that you think we should hit on. Or also mention what your favorite food was from 4th of July this weekend. What did you like? Or maybe what's something that is a classic and staple in your kind of family cookouts or summer cookouts. So
for sure.
But that's it for this week. And next week is, I don't know what's going to be next week. I don't think we've decided yet. So it'll be a mystery. We'll maybe tease at it once we figure it out. So until then, we will see you next week.
Happy birthday, America.
Jeez.
That's so cheesy.
Initially I said geez, but it might as well have been cheese.
I thought I heard cheese.